There's no second guessing, I can be myself. You understand so well. Hey, hey, maybe we're crazy and passionate, how we're rushing in. Hey, hey, but I don't care what they say. Diving in anyway, and I'm not going anywhere. So
here we are at Minipi Lodge with the Coopers, and we are so stoked on char, and the stoke never runs out with us. So we thought we'd go try to find the very biggest brook trout in the world.
There are a lot of places around the world where you can go and target big brook trout. You can go to South America and these other places. However, we wanted to go where the fish were wild and native in their natural environment, and the colors on these fish are just something else.
To be able to go and chase a fish that's over 20 is pretty rare. You know, they happen even in Utah, but it's a really rare occurrence, and not too many anglers know that. And I think that's something that is important for people to realize, is that brook trout just do not get as big as the other salmonid species. They're just a lot smaller.
Their aggressive nature, the way they fight, everything. I mean, these fish are just it as far as brook trout go.
And so when you catch one over 20, that is a trophy. And to be able to go and chase a brook trout that is more in the realm of 24, 25 inches and 7-8 pounds, that's just unheard of. That's mind-blowing.
And that's the reason, because they're so big. They're just neat and good and crap like that.
I have just been waiting for that one Court comment.
you make me so bold. You make me so bold. You make me so bold. You make me so. You make me so. So hold me under the stars, 'cause what tonight could be ours if you want it. Baby, show me all that you are, 'cause tonight I'll be yours if you want it. You make me so bold. Hey, you make me so bold. Oh, you make me so bold. You make me so. You make me so bold.
Catching those just mega big brook trout, the apex of their species, and doing it on mice was something that I'll never forget. And it lived up to all the hype that I had in my mind, and probably surpassed it, just because I got to experience something that I never thought that I would see. That I would watch a brook trout over 6 pounds try repeatedly to eat a mouse. And for me, that just made the trip one of the best trips I've ever been on. that the northern lights, or the Aurora Borealis, actually dripped colors into the brook trout. And when we caught our first brook trout, you could really see those greens, the reds, and the colors of the Aurora in the fish.
Everyone you talk to in the whole world wants to see the northern lights, and so to be able to experience that, I feel like it's a once in a lifetime, cool, way cool experience.
We had fished a while in this one run where the water kind of choked up and there was a little bit of a current. We didn't have any action, it was super slow. So our guide threw on a little dry fly, which was not little, it was massive. It was a size 2 wolf. And we were all just like, huh? This is not gonna, we weren't catching very many fish, but we entertained them, we threw it on. I made like one cast out through this run and a massive brookie just came and slammed it. We don't even know like what is going on or how that happens, but it was awesome to watch.
To the grip of your arms, far from where I go. I wanna see the other side. Show
Before we left on the trip, I was kind of low on mice patterns, and so I went and asked my 10-year-old son, Gunner, if he had any mice that he'd recently tied, and he did have one that was just a cute little baby mouse. And I asked him if I could borrow it for the trip, and a couple days in, fishing was pretty slow, and I tied his mouse on, and I was stripping it in, and I watched a huge fish swirl on it. And I got super stoked and just kept stripping in, and when the mouse was about 2 feet from my rod tip, 7.5 pound male brookie just exploded on it right off my rod tip and ended up landing it, and it was my best fish of the entire trip. It was just gorgeous and huge, and I'll never forget his face when I FaceTimed him later that night and told him that I had just caught one of the most significant, biggest fish in my entire life on his mouse that he had tied. He was just so stoked. He was just grinning from ear to ear. It was unforgettable.
You